Vinland Saga is officially coming to an end in just a few more chapters. A series that has stroked the hearts of many and has even given us one of the most iconic lines of all of manga history: I have no enemies. It is a series that honestly you could sit down and you can really analyze it, and there's a lot of life lessons to learn from its writing. And it's one of the reasons why it's such a cult classic. It's one of the reasons why that so many people love Vinland Saga. And you accompany that with a very gorgeous and thought-provoking anime. It has just everything in line set for just an absolute victory, for people to really understand just how amazing Vinland Saga is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is that earlier today, there was an article that came out by Anime Corner that, basically was interviewing the man himself, the author behind Vinland Saga, and this interview pretty much says that the series will be coming to an end in just a few more chapters. However, there is something that I do need to talk about and make sure we're all on the same page. This information that we got with this interview is not necessarily new news, and hear me out. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like a lot of people today, this is the first time they're hearing about this. I mean, just looking at, like, everybody that's talking about it, and just how many, anime news accounts and stuff is commenting on this, how I'm even making a video on it, it's clear that a lot of people are completely unaware that Vinland Saga is coming to an end. I heard about it a while ago that Vinland Saga was in its final arc. I just didn't know it was as close as it is currently, because I'm not currently up to date with the Vinland Saga manga. I'm a little bit behind. But getting into the main point, though, is that Vinland Saga, it being in its final arc and final stretches, like final chapters, has been well documented and known about. One post from just 2 months ago, you have someone on the Reddit of Vinland Saga actually directly talking about this, that the author of Vinland Saga made a post on social media X, and it's like, yeah, the final chapter, final episode is coming soon. Please make sure to watch it. Basically implying that, yes, the final moments of Vinland Saga is quickly approaching, and there's really just not many more chapters left. I mean, I believe at this current time period, we're about 60 or 70% through the current volume of Vinland Saga, and so factoring in just how long chapters are and all that, potentially the series is either gonna wrap up this volume, or it's gonna wrap up next volume. So that's at the very least what I can gather from this information. So this news kind of coming out of nowhere isn't necessarily something that's true. Yes, it's very clear to me that not a lot of people were aware that Vinland Saga was in its final stretches, but obviously now pretty much the entire anime and manga community is currently aware of it. So let's get into that fact. Vinland Saga wrapping up and coming to an end. Well, it's going to be a sad moment. It's going to be sad, but also joyous, because Vinland Saga legitimately has a fantastic journey. And, I mean, this interview that Anime Corner did, it's a very good interview, actually. I really recommend you guys, if you're wanting to dive into the psyche and the mind of the author of Vinland Saga, I do recommend you to read this interview. It does ask some good questions. It talks about kind of the depth and, like, why certain characters were written the way they were and why some action was done the way it was. It's a very good article. And a good interview, honestly. Very well made, and definitely better than what I've seen from, let's say, Anime News Network's equivalent. So, just good job on anyone that participated in this interview for Anime Corner. But let's get into the main meat of the discussion. So basically, in this interview, one of the big highlights that everybody's going to take away is obviously that, yes, the author admits that the series is going to be approaching its final chapter very soon, and also talks about the reason of I have no enemies, a very iconic line, and just how viral it is and how many memes are behind it, that the author was just kind of unaware of just how memey it was at this point. So that's kind of interesting. I like seeing these questions asked. But anyways, it's a very thought-provoking interview that, honestly, my words talking about it will not do it justice. I highly recommend you guys to sit down and read it. It's really good. But, anyways, the main point is that interview pretty much allowed everybody to come to terms with, yes, Vinland Saga is ending, and we're about to live in a world to where it's gonna be gone. And it's like one of those series that's always been held as like one of the big greats, kind of alongside of like Vagabond and Berserk. And seeing like basically one of the big dark shonen, or not dark shonen, I don't know why I said shonen, forgive me, dark seinen, I know there's gonna be a lot of people mad with the way I just said there. You know what, I'm not even gonna edit it out, because I deserve you guys to be upset when we say dark shonen. Anyways, it's one of those, like, very dark seinen series that a lot of people recognize. It's iconic. It's been going on for decades at this point, and so to see it finally reaching its conclusion, it's going to be a very sad day. A happy day if it's a very good conclusion, and I am dead certain it's going to be a good conclusion, but it's still going to be sad to see such a legendary series finally have its final chapter written, and the book finally closes on top, and that is the end for the series. It's going to be sad. But, I do think that it's crazy that in 2024, there's just been so many conclusions to just some iconic stuff. I mean, obviously, Vinland Saga has been going on for a very long time, 2+ decades at this point, but it's still crazy just how much has ended this year. Like, just very big iconic stories, just like Nagatoro, to My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and then now this. It's just like, there's some big series that legitimately are staples in anime and manga culture that have, like, come to a close, so to speak, this year. And seeing Vinland Saga potentially about to join the rankings of that is not something I honestly expected going into this year. This year continuously surprises me with its different announcements and stuff that keeps coming out, because Vinland Saga is something that has remained very consistent and high quality for years at this point, decades even, and I'm glad to see that it's not going out on a very bad note. A lot of fans just straight up agree that it's very well written, and there really is next to nothing really wrong with it, and I just don't see how the final chapters could even mess up as well, because it's just so well written. The author clearly takes their time and dedication to their craft to make it as best as possible. So yeah, to make a long story short, Vinland Saga is wrapping up. This is technically old news that people have known about for months, but like I said, it's spreading like wildfire right now in the anime and manga community, and now people are becoming aware that it's coming to an end. So I wanted to talk about it to let more people know that we're clearly unaware of this information. Anyways, be safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Chibi out.